Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, Abe, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. How are you keeping?
Good. How was Shabbos?
Lovely, lovely.
Good.
Shabbos is always good.
It's always good. Where is our fearless leader?
Ah.
Where'd you daven, eh? By Shai.
Young Israel. Young Israel.
Young Israel?
Yep.
What, Young Israel? What?
Century City.
Century City.
Century City.
In the big show.
And Shkomi.
Hashkoma. Who davens there? Platt davens there?
Yeah. Yep. Rabbi Echelon.
What time they start?
On Shabbos, 7:15. It's unbelievable how many insomniacs there are in Young Israel.
There's a lot of insomniacs everywhere.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
So we're on Kuf Mem Daled, 144. We're talking about if the father left over an estate and one of the brothers invested, does the profit go only to him or to all the brothers? So Oidiani, this is a well with its covering, and you rent it out for people to use the water for their fields. So hasachar le'emtza. If any rental payment is divided among the brothers, but the adult brothers, they have to watch it, make sure it works. It's not that they're spending expenses, but yet they're investing their time. Why don't they get it? So Shani Odyanu Naturu Davida. All you have to do is watch it. So even Ketanim can do that. So it's not like something that the adults are going to get extra credit for, because the younger ones could do it as well. Amru, the Mishnah said that if the adult brothers said, it means if the older brother informs the other brothers, you know what, I'm going to invest that which our father left us, but he's going to pre-inform them. He's allowed to do it. He can keep it. But Rav Safra Shabbat Kavua Zuzi. Rav Safra, his father left him money. Shakil no avad buiska. Rav Safra made business with it. Also achi tavu bedina kamei. The brothers took him to court. They wanted to get their share in front of Rava. Armalu Rav Safra gaver rabu. Lo shavi girsa v'tarach lachrinu. Rav Safra is a Talmid Chacham. He's not going to leave his learning to work for other people. He's going to work for himself. If he worked, he's going to work for himself. Even though he didn't announce it and make a condition, like our Mishnah said he needs to do, it's assumed that that's what he's doing. If the wife, after the father's death, improved the assets, it goes to her. Then everyone shares in it. Now, what is this woman doing with the assets of the Yisomim? We're talking about adult Yisomim. She's not an apotropos. Rav Yirmiyah, this is a unique case. Can be a reshes. she was the nephew of her husband. That means the husband,
Married his niece.
she was the nephew, she was the niece, I'm sorry. She was the niece of her husband. It means she was the daughter of the brother's husband. When he died without sons, so she inherited and therefore was her assets. So then Pshita, so what's the big chiddush? Of course, if she inherited, it belongs to her. Since it's not the norm that a woman is involved in increasing the values of assets, after Gavdalo Porish, even though that she didn't make this announcement that I'm doing it, it's Kamoda Porish Dami. And then maybe it should accrue to her only. Kamash that no. It's only if she made an announcement that it would accrue to her. Otherwise, the other, she would share it with the other Yisom. She says, look what my husband left. She keeps the profits. So Pshita, what's the big chiddush here? Maybe people will say, listen, she's working hard for the Yisomim. That the Yisomim will be moichel and she can keep it herself. No. That she gets to keep it for herself if she made the announcement. Amrav Chanina. Hamatzi ichel of nagadol b'bayis. Father marries his oldest son off and designates a chuppah and a place for the party. Kano, the bias that was set up for this wedding, is given as a matana to the son. Davka b'no agadol. That's it's got to be the oldest son. V'davka besula. If he married his son to a besula. V'davka ishta rishon. It's the first wife. V'davka shisi rishon, and he's the first one getting married. So because of all these reasons, it's clear that he likes him more, and therefore he's giving him this gift. Pshita yichlo aviv bayis ve'aliyah. If he gave the son a house, but there was a second story, bayis kan aliyah loika. He's only giving him the bayis, not the second story. What about bayis v'achsandra? An achsandra is like a patio. Mao. Or shnei batim zelif nimizeh. There was an inner house and an outer house, and he gave him the inner house. Mao. But both of these questions we don't have an answer. Meisvei. Yichid lo aviv bayis ukli bayis. The father gave a house and furniture for the wedding. Klei bayis kana bayis like kana. Since he gave two things, we assume that he gave the furniture, not the house. Amrav Yirmiyah kagon shaya oitzroi shalaviv munach sham. The father had like a warehouse there. So it's clear that he's not giving him the warehouse. And he's not giving him the bias either. He doesn't give him the klei bias. However, the Nardoi Omri, the Talmid Chacham in Nardoi said, Afilu shchuvcha diyuni. Let's say there was just a birdhouse for doves that belonged to the Av. That's a simin that he's not giving him the bias. Rav Yudav Rav Papi Amri Afilu Atzitza Daharsna. Even there's like a little kli that they put, fried fish in. The father is keeping assets for his own, so it's clear that he's not giving him the bias. Marzutra Ansvel Brei, Vitale Sandala. Marzutra married off his son in a house, and he hung a sandal there. That he's keeping the rights to the bias for himself. He's not giving the bias to the son. That's a siman. Ravashi Nazbe Lebrevet Ashisha Demishcha. Ravashi married off his son, and he hung like a kli that holds shemen, oil, as a simon that he's not giving him the bias. The Chachamim have these three halachas that they say the halacha is like that, but they don't really give a reason. Chada ha, one is this. Idich, the other is Amar Rabbi Shmuel. Akoitzev konachasav liishto lo asala patrop. If a father gives over all of his assets to his wife, he's not really giving it to her. There's other children. He's making her the executor of the estate. Idich, Amar Rav, manali biyadcha. You owe me $100. Give it to Walter at my instruction. Is b'maymid shloishton, if all three of them are together, kana. It's kana to Walter. You don't need Adim, don't need a Kinyan. It's not clear why that halacha was made like that. Mishnah. There are brothers, they are partners. One of them was taken away by the king for forced labor. Nafal emtza. They all have to share in that loss. Chalav and Isrape. One of the brothers got sick and had to spend money for medical payment. Nisrape Mishasme has to pay for it himself. Tana. Hi, umnis. This, when we said umnis, the Mishnah is umnis amelech. Not that he went off on his own business venture. He was forced by the king. Tarabonon, echab and achim shemineu gaboy, ofumustus. He was appointed a certain clerk from the king, or an officer in the army, and he's earning money. So machbasa achim. Let's say it was standard that they would take one brother from each family. So then it's mischalik ben achim, then he has to share with all the brothers. But if he was exceptionally talented, and they chose him because of him, in machbas atzmo, so it goes latzmo. Okay, so it said in machbas achim la'achim. If this is a standard, every family has to give one of his brothers, so then they divide all of it. Pshita, why is, of course, why would I think not? Lo tzricha chariv tvei. This guy's a very sharp guy. He's smarter than all the brothers. The Havamina is that it was his smartness that got him the job. Kamash that no. Since he's the representative of his family, they divided among the family. Tan Rabbanon. Echad min achim shenatol mosayim zuz. One of the brothers took a couple $100. He's traveling somewhere. Lilmod Torah or Lilmod Umnas. He's going to university or he's going to yeshiva. We're not going along with this. If you live in our house, you can eat like the rest of us. If you're traveling somewhere else, we don't have to feed you. Frankly, more why? Let's look like this and let them give him whatever his share, whatever his normal share is at the home, and let him take that. Messiah Ravuna, Dam Ravuna, Birchas Habayis Beruba. When there's more people in the house has more of a blessing. And when there's less cost for all of them when they're all there. He's taking expenses that have nothing to do with the Birchas Habayis, because he's out of the bias. Okay, let's put the Birchas Habayis. Give him not more. Give him at least the minimum. When he's there with the Birchas Habayis. So Gemara says a chanami. Ain't a chanami. He gets a stipend, whatever his normal stipend. And when he lives in the house, whatever that amount, he gets to go if he's off in yeshiva. Chalav in Isrape. We said if he gets sick and he needs medical treatment, he has to pay for that himself. Isrape mishalatz. Sholach Ravin Mishmeid Ravi Lo. Lo Shana Shechala B'Pshia. He was negligent. He got sick because of that. But if he got sick and it's not his fault, then the assets that the brothers own have to pay his medical. What does it mean? Hechidami b'pshia. Kid Rav Chanina. Dam Rav Chanina. Hakol bidei shamayim chutz mitzinim pachim. Everything that happens to a person is bidei shamayim, except he goes out into a bitter, freezing rain without the proper protection, and he gets a cold. So that's on him. If you're smart, you'll stay away from things that are going to make you sick. Mishnah. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 9 in the morning, after Minyan. Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning will be the daf, because I can't teach at night. Unless you want to do it at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. That's better. What do you prefer? Walter, 9 in the morning?
I prefer 9 in the morning or even earlier. I mean,
what about you?
9 works for me.
Okay, let's do it at 9 in the morning. Okay.
Just got to tell Mario.
Okay, we'll tell Mario. The father has a friend. The friend is making a wedding for his son. And the father sends one of the brothers, while the father's alive, as his messenger, as his representative to the new wedding. The minig was, the family would send gifts and a brother, as a honored guest, and then you would receive it back when you make a wedding. Chazar shushvinis, after the death of the father, and one of the brothers gets married, and now the new family is going to send matonos, chazar leemsa. It's not, doesn't get it, this guy's getting married. The gift is shared by all the brothers. Why? Hashushbinis nigves bebezdin. It's like a debt. It's like written in a star. It's owned to the father. And therefore the collection, even by Bezdin, so therefore it goes to the estate. Now, somebody sends just some presents. I'm sending you a bottle of wine and oil. So that's just a matana. There's not a matana that there was this minig that shushvinis would always come back. Because that's just friendship. So this issue that if the father sent the son with gifts, and then he dies, and the other family is going to send it back, the gifts come and it's shared by everybody. Reminu, yes? Reminu. I'll ask you a steer from another brisa. The father sent this gift. Chozeres lo. It only comes back to the brother who went and brought the gift. And nishtach laviv shushbinis. If the father was sent a gift, when the family sends it back, chozeres b'na emsa. So, but the initial halach of the brisa is a choylek on our Mishnah. And when it says in our Mishnah that when it comes back to the emsa, not to the individual brother who brought it. That's shenishto chala aviv tnan. It was sent to the father as a gift for the wedding of one of his sons. So it really belongs to the estate of the father. That's why the brothers share it. But the Gemara says, it says one of the brothers was sent, not the Av, it's one of the brothers. Tani lemiktasun. You have to amend it. It means not all the brothers, and therefore it was the father. That if the gifts have to be sent back, nikvis memtza, it's paid back to the whole estate. Ravasi Omar, another way of being mitar to the Mishnah and the Brisa, loy kasha. Kan, our Mishnah, bistam. The father sent gifts without being mafarish any detail. Kan, the Brisa has been mafarish. It was sent with a specific, it's going to this and this son. Yeditanya. Shalach lo aviv shushbinis. If the father sent a gift for a specific person, kishi chazeres lo, comes back to the son that was sent specifically. Shalach aviv shushbinis tam. The father didn't send it with a specific son. Kishi chazeres lo. But Shmuel Amar, that the Mishnah is where he detailed it. Hacha, when it comes back and it goes back le'emtza, biyave maskina. It's talking about a case that the son who got married died without children. And one of his brothers did Yibum. And that's the wedding that's being celebrated. And it was being, and the Shushbinis was being sent for that. That's why he doesn't get it himself. It's divided among all the brothers. Because why is that? Even though normally, the one who is miyabim, a wife, inherits his brother's assets. Ein a noitel beroi kivimuchsek. The brother who does the yibum only inherits the estate, the assets that are in the estate when his brother died. Things that come in later, he doesn't get that. That's why he has to share it with the other brothers. And this shushbinus that's being chayzer is after the death. Now, Michlal, the idich, that it was sent for the brother who died Mishalem, then it should say, Lema tnu li shushbini vesmachimo. He would have a right, the guy wouldn't have to return the shushbinis, because it's only if he's alive that there's going to be back and forth and back and forth. But they'll say, listen, give me my shushbin, which is my co-friend, to allow me to be Mesamech, but he can't. So you're not chayav to send the gift. Didn't we learn Milo Tanya? Mokum shenagu la'achzir kiddushin. A man gives kiddushin to a woman. Then he dies. What do you do with that money? He dies before they got married. What about the kesef kiddushin that was given to the woman? So it's totally in minig. There were places where the minig was to return the money. Like, if you gave a ring as the kesef kiddushin, you didn't get married yet, then he dies before the chuppah, that in the makam where it was minig to give it back, they'd give it back. Makam shenogu shulach zein machzirin. There was a minig where they didn't give it back. We're talking about the woman died. Then we follow the minig. Aval mesu, but if the chosin died, so everybody agrees ein machzir. My timer, because Yechoy, like he should tell Omer, Tnuli bali vesmachma, give me my husband. I'm ready to get married. I was given money to get married, and I'm prepared to get married. The problem is the lack of getting married is not my fault. It's your fault. The same thing by the shushbinis. Since the guy died, he can make. I don't even have to send the shushbinis. Okay. We'll stop here. So we'll learn tomorrow 9 o'clock. I'll send a message tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
Okay. Shkaya. Shavua tov.
Thank you.